Hi everybody, welcome to the first Universal Neurodiversity episode of 2025. I'm Daniel Perkins and I'm here to make your universal vacation a fun and exciting time while also giving you a few tips based on some of my experiences as a neurodivergent person along with my family. Now today, and this is something that's never covered in travel videos, we are going to talk about travel day, which is exciting because it means you're almost close to your vacation, but can also be a little nerve-wracking. I know from experience, so I want to share my experience with you. Also, before I do, I want to make a quick correction about selecting ticket that I should have mentioned in the previous episodes. When you pick your ticket, when you're trying to figure out how many days you want to spend in the park, one of the best ways of doing it is getting the multi-day pass ticket with Park Hopper, because one, you get to ride the Hogwarts Express, which is a highlight for some people. It was pretty cool when my grandfather showed it to me. But number two, if you want to switch between parks, depending on what you and your family want, you'll be able to do so without having to worry about, should I buy another ticket? Should I just leave my family behind? But if you want to do If you're and you want to do one park at a time, you can also do like one park a day, depending on your preferred preference. Excuse me. Now, I mentioned last week a packing list of the stuff you need, like shorts or pants in the base of the weather medicine that you might need, sunblock, and ponchos, because you never know. But one of the things I didn't tell you was when to pack. I myself make a little packing list on my phone so I can keep track of what I need. But I usually do it like a couple days before. And the night before and a couple of hours before we leave for the airport, my family and I make it a habit of doing like a double check. Just to make sure you have everything on your list. And in case you want to bring something else, you can add it on your list and then put it in there. But it's very important to make sure that you have everything that you needed, because personally from experience, if I don't have anything, sometimes I get a little bit anxious. I mean, I make the best of it, but still, I don't speak for every person who is neurodivergent, so plan accordingly. And as I mentioned before, you're going to double check everything the night before and the day of. And I'm emphasizing it because it's very important. Remember I told you last week about practicing when you arrive at the airport? Well, this is where it's going to come in handy. You're definitely going to want to arrive hours before, depending on where you live. The traffic can be a bit brutal. But also to make sure that you can center yourself, calm, relax, which is one of the most important things for me, because when I go to get my thing done, I get very nervous. Now, when you get there, I almost forgot. Another thing you don't want to leave home without is your state ID or driver's license. Because when you go through TSA, they're going to want to check that first. Or if you're in the foreign country, don't forget your passport. You can't enter it without it. It's very important. Now, as I mentioned before, to parents and adults who are neurodivergent, try practicing with your family beforehand so you know what to expect. Now, I'm not sure if every airline does that, but I know some airports have a disability program for TSA if you're not comfortable either traveling alone or want to make the going through the checkout process a little easy, but still maintain a sense of order. So make sure before you leave, like a couple of days, to call your local airport and to make sure the TSA has the disabilities program. I tried it once before and it worked like a lightsaber, and it saves my parents from worrying. Anyway, now the first thing you want to do is to make sure you have your license. So they're going to ask for your license and then scan your boarding pass. And as I mentioned before, they're going to do body scan. The thing you want to know is there are going to be some bins on the side. So when you go in, they're going to have you take off your shoes, your belt, and empty anything in your pocket that may be of metal. And this is another important thing I forgot to mention. When you have technology like a Kindle or iPad, or if you're like me, a portable battery, Make sure you take it out beforehand, otherwise they will stop and go through your luggage. But the most important thing is to be prepared. And remember, just go in calm, cool, relax when they do the full body scan. And remember to make sure you follow their direction. If you have a child that's a little nervous about going up there, parents, make sure you give them the heads up and remember what they practiced. And when it goes very quickly, and then you are out. And now, while you're waiting for a flight, can be very nerve-wracking. For me, one of the things I try to figure out is, what am I going to do? What am I going to keep myself comfortable with? Obviously, besides having a conversation, you're going to want to have some other stuff that could keep the wait time very fast. If you have any technological stuff like a kid-friendly iPad, a laptop computer, or any technological device, aside from having them charged the night before, you're definitely going to want to have those in hand. But also, so there are other stuff that can keep you occupied that you might not even need technology for. You could bring like a travel-sized family game, or maybe you can even have a special book that you like. I know when I went to Florida, during my early days of Universal, if I was in a show, I was always carrying my script around, or like a PDF version of it, so to help me relax while still maintaining some of the stuff I was leaving behind on vacation. I would always have that with me. And books, fortunately, you never have to charge. But that doesn't mean you have to come prepared with it. If you forgot something like that, don't worry. The airport has a lot of stuff that can help your needs if you need it, or your family's needs. Like there could be like a little restaurant in case you get hungry and want to eat something before you board your flight. Or there's like little convenience stores with not only souvenirs for other travelers who come to your home state, but as well as stuff like magazines, snacks, mints, and any medical supplies that you may have forgotten. Like a travel-sized kid's Zyrtec, perfect for allergies. But the main goal is to stay calm, cool, and relaxed. Very important. And now, one of the things that is really nerve-wracking for me as a person on the autism spectrum is boarding, because I really don't have a good sense of personal spacing, so sometimes that can be a little difficult. So, fortunately, that's why I have my parents with me, but also have other family members that will be willing to help as well. Sometimes the boarding dock will have a priority checklist, so they'll go by group, and if your group is called, you go up, you show them your boarding pass, and remember to walk in cool, calm, and slowly as you get your carry-on into the little overhead bins. Now, there's also a disability program that they use first to help people who may have a neurological or physical disabilities. So be sure to ask about that. It's very helpful if you want to ease the way of boarding the flight. But don't take advantage of it if you don't have a disability. Use it for your family members, or if you have a neurological or physical disability, I highly advise you take that. Now, one other thing I forgot. When you go to your travel stuff, your phone may die, so it's important to bring both your digital copy and your physical copy of your boarding pass, because you're gonna need that if you want to board the flight. Now, one of the things that I didn't know before my first trip at Universal is that when you go on a plane, once you get up to a certain altitude, your ears are probably gonna pop. So one of the things I like to do is I like to bring something like a snack to chew on, so it can help ease the takeoff and the landing at the airport. And one of the things I use is sugar-free gum, mostly because it helps my ears so it doesn't pop during the flight. Remember to take one before you take off and before you land. Now, as I mentioned before, the same thing you use when you're waiting for your flight, you can do on the plane, like your tablet. Planes do offer some entertainment, like movies, live TV, etc. But it's also very important to listen to the flight directions, so if there is any emergency, you can be prepared for that. Trust me, I know, not my favorite part, but I listen to it because one, it's very respectful. But number two, I don't want to panic in case there's an emergency. See. Now, after you get down, you're going to be wondering, how am I going to get to Universal Orlando Resort? Well, before you leave, you got to make sure you have some options. There's the rental car usual, or if you have family living down in Florida, maybe they can drive you, which I haven't done that before other than with my aunt, but yeah, it's very handy. But the thing I like to do, and a little more convenient, is take the Universal Superstar Shuttle. So when you plan your vacation, make sure you put that into your add-ons, and when you get into the terminal where you're supposed to be after getting your bag from your checked luggage, you go down and then hand the person who's in charge of the bus transportation to the resort. And all you just gotta do is wait, and as soon as they come in, they'll let you know when your flight is in, and then you go and enjoy the ride. It's my favorite part because it means the anticipation is getting closer. But I still want to make sure I'm calm, cool, and collected, so I have those little leisurely things that I did on the airplane and in the waiting dock on the bus. Or sometimes I like to look out the window, see some of the billboard signs and Florida landscape. Families, it's important to make sure that your child is cool, calm, and collected. So go over with some of the tips on trying to keep calm, cool, and relaxed. And yes, I know I sound redundant, but it's very important because you don't want to tire yourself before you get to your trip. And trust me, the ride on the Universal Superstar Shuttle, very smooth sailing. And now we come to the part that is the final part of your travel day, check-in. Depending on when you check in, like maybe in the early morning or maybe in the night, you're still going to want to check in. Some things that you might need, like your theme park tickets or your express pass, will be probably included during the day, but not during, like, after a certain hour, because people still work there and they need their relax. But the point is, you go in cool, calm, and collected, and remember, bring both a digital and physical copy of your travel papers, so the concierge will be able to help you. And speaking of park tickets, one of the best things about going at a Universal hotel is the wonderful team members. And that starts with the people who work at the front desk. They'll be able to help you if you have any question, or if your child has a particular question, or even, like, if you want to add something on. Like, I know last year, originally, 2 years ago, my bad. We were originally supposed to do one park a day, but we decided to go, my family and I decided to go big or go home and do the park hopper pass. So the next morning, after we checked in late at night, we were able to go to the front desk where they sell tickets, and then be able to add that on. Very good tip if you want to add something that you didn't add during your travel planning. And the team members, very, very helpful. And very friendly too, and I highly recommend it. Remember, when you check in, you also remember to bring your papers, and if you have any questions, again, feel free to ask any of the team members. They are here to help you, not harm you. And one of the things I learned over the past couple years is that there are some days you might want to go into the park early if you're in during the daytime and got your park tickets. But sometimes your park ticket may not be good, or you just want to stay cool, calm, and relaxed before you rush into anything. So one of the things I started doing with my family is having a day off, just getting ourselves checked in, making sure we had everything in our bags, get comfortable, and just relax. Some days you might want to go into the pool when you check in, so make sure you got your bathing suit, depending on the weather. But you might want to look around, because some hotels have walking paths to both Universal City Walk, which is like a Universal's version of Disney Springs, or there are other hotels to explore. Like this year, I explored not only a hotel I went to, the Aventura, but I was able to get a milkshake from Universal's 50s and 60s themed resort, Cabana Bay. It was definitely perfect, so I could go into the parks next day cool, calm, and relaxed. You'll also, if it's your first time, want to explore the resort hotels, like both on your map and on the Universal app, which is your very best friend when you go on vacation. And I know I'm rambling on, but I felt like these were all important things I wanted to get. But I want to hear from you. Last time I didn't really ask you the question, but I want to know, what should I cover next that's extremely important in the next 2 weeks? If you have anything, please let me know in the comments below. And remember, I have the links to Universal's blog, Discover Universal, down in the YouTube link, as well as the website for the Universal Orlando. Or if you're on Instagram, DM me privately, and I will be able to get you the link to both the Discover Universal podcast and the Universal Orlando website. Please feel free to type in anything you like. And remember, Universal is neurodiverse. Have a very good day, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Happy New Year.